Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again. Yesterday was just a big bombshell of news for the gaming industry. I mean, seriously, we had news that uh, Cuphead is coming over to Nintendo Switch, which is insane because it was console exclusive for the Xbox. We had news that Nintendo is licensing the Zelda IP over to an indie developer. They're making Cadence of Hyrule. If you've ever played Crypt of the Necrodancer, that was a game that the dev previously made. I actually bought it on Steam about a year ago, but I haven't played too much of it because I have just a large backlog on Steam. Uh, and then also the fact that three three I can't remember what studio made them, but three PlayStation exclusives, uh, one of them being Detroit Become Human. I know that these games weren't too quickly acclaimed, but they're coming over to PC via Epic Game Store, but that sucks right there. But they're coming over to PC regardless. So the fact that all of these games are being either moved over to another system or they're just being licensed to a smaller or just a smaller company, that's huge news. All that happening in one day. Of course, there was the Google Stadia announcement, but no one with a logical mind really cared about that, to be honest. But so that was a lot of great news, and that shows a lot of pro-consumerism going on in the industry because things are changing and exclusives are probably on their way out. Now, I did have a script because I was going to talk about this today. However, I saw something interesting this morning, and that made me change everything I was going to do. So, I was on Twitter, saw this tweet that came out from Obi-Wan Plays. Now, I've never really agreed or watched too much of Obi-Wan Plays because he seemed to me to be just this big Nintendo fanboy, and that really just got under my skin. However, this one tweet, I just really can't congratulate this guy for saying this. So here's what he said, and I'll actually post this on the screen. Some Nintendo fans are hypocritical. Hyped for Cuphead coming to the Switch, but don't want Nintendo to put any games on Xbox. Don't be surprised if a Nintendo IP makes its way to Xbox before 2019 is over. Y'all remember Splatoon on the Xbox Mixer dashboard? So, I can't remember too much about the Mixer thing, but oh yeah, there was a thing talking about how oh my gosh, I can't remember what her name is, but I think it was Marna. How from Splatoon was going to be on the dashboard for Xbox. Um, so that was something that happened. I thought that would be pretty cool when I first heard it. So that was the thing. So I'm just disregarding that last part about the Mixer, part about the Splatoon. But the thing, though, is the fact that he got a lot of flack in the comments talking about how why it would be stupid for Nintendo to bring games over to Xbox, how Nintendo shouldn't do that and stuff like that. And here's what I replied with when I retweeted. I said, first time I've agreed with Obi-Wan. Why is it okay for games on Microsoft to go to Nintendo and not vice versa? If games go to all platforms, it benefits the consumers. No need for companies to hide behind exclusives. The hardware should stand on its own. And that is what I was thinking. You see, back when I was actually a Nintendo fanboy, I actually was thinking, yeah, we should have every exclusive stay on its own respective platform. We should have Nintendo games be on Nintendo, Sony games be on Sony, Xbox on Xbox, yada yada yada. Um, and then when Microsoft started to bring stuff over um to PC, I was like, okay, I guess Microsoft's gonna fade out, and then it's just gonna be a Sony Nintendo world for consoles. And then I actually wisened up, and I was like, hey, you know what? Well, at first I was gonna be like, I was thinking of stuff like, first thing I thought was, you know what, Microsoft, we need them as part of the ecosystem because we don't want one huge monopoly going on. Because Nintendo can't directly compete with Sony, and it's really good to have the competition. Then, as I start to realize with all this cross-platform stuff and going on, hey, maybe we should have games going to all other systems. I mean, seriously, there's no reason why a game can't be on another platform unless there's some sort of special limitation. Like, for example, you wouldn't necessarily have a game that required, say, for example, motion controls being on other hardware because of the fact that the console, or rather the controls, wouldn't work. So for stuff like that, I can understand. But if a game can run on another piece of hardware, there's no reason why it shouldn't be on there. Like, there's no reason why um, God of War shouldn't be on Xbox. There's no reason why we shouldn't have Halo being on Switch. There's no reason why we shouldn't have Smash Brothers on PlayStation. Seriously. And if you disagree with that, that shows that you are more interested in your piece of plastic than the games itself. Like, at, aren't we playing games? We play games, not hardware. So what difference does it make if one game can't come to another? If one game should or shouldn't come to another platform? Because for one thing, it's best for the consumer. Because would you rather go and spend $800 on two consoles, or would you rather go and buy one piece of hardware and then just have access to a lot of games? Now, some people have said, well, yeah, then just buy Stadia, but that's not the same thing. You are buying a streaming service, and even then, you're still not getting those quote exclusives, or at least they're exclusive for now. But you get to own the games if you buy the if you buy the console, you also get to buy the games themselves and own them. It's the different from streaming the games. So even higher, I guess, reputable YouTubers who left a comment were talking about how what he said what was a mistake and how he should delete that tweet. Now, yeah, sure, the Splatoon mixer thing dashboard, maybe that thing could be questioned. However, the ideal that all games should be on all platforms is not a is truth. That should be a thing. I remember when a friend of mine actually said that he would like to see all games on consoles. And I thought how ridiculous that was. But then thinking to myself, now that's a good idea. Seriously, the companies can make so much money if they spread their games to multiple platforms. That's why you see multi-plat games selling more than exclusives. Because, I mean, of course, depending on the type of game, or if it's niche or not, that'll impact, sales. Like, you wouldn't expect to see, you wouldn't generally expect to see, like, a Disgaea game outsell, like, God of War, for example. You wouldn't expect to see that happen. But, generally speaking, a multi-plat will outsell an exclusive because it's available on multiple platforms and more people can buy it. I mean, seriously, why are Nintendo fans saying that it's okay when when they were the first ones saying, "Oh, it's cool that we have cross-platform with Microsoft." When that was first happening, they said that was cool. When games started to come over, like the notion of Xbox Live coming over, they're like, "Oh, wow, that's pretty cool that we get to have it. Hey, if we get Game Pass, that would be cool because we'll get to play these games." But then, heaven forbid, Nintendo puts a game on Xbox, and oh, that is so bad. That should not happen. We want the games, but we don't want to give any games away. That shows how invested these people are into the plastic rather than the games, and that's why I stopped thinking about the brand. In fact, I even had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were texting back and forth yesterday, and he was talking about how he was so upset about the fact that Sony could try to, like, when I told him about the games coming over to PC, he was thinking to himself, "Oh man, that's so bad and stuff." And I'm like, why? And it's like, well, I mean, like, Sony's known for their exclusives, so why would I do that? Because I've invested so much into Sony, and I'm like, dude, people being able to play games is not going to affect you on playing a game. you it's not the same thing. You can't compare these things. Why shouldn't people be able to play whatever they want on whatever hardware they buy? Like I said, the hardware should speak for itself. If we have to judge these consoles based on their hardware, then that it shows all the flaws, and yet the gamers don't want to see those flaws. For example, just being real, consoles are nothing more than weak PCs. Seriously, they have outdated, weak PC hardware, and yet they're trying to be PCs with like the 4K and stuff, or uh upscaled 4K, uh not being able to hit 60 FPS all the time, stuff like that. And I said that consoles should exist if they are going to be innovative. Like, for example, this is the one thing that I can give Nintendo credit for, is not trying to chase being a PC and trying to innovate. They've done that since the Wii, and granted, I did not like the Wii, but it was innovative. The Switch is an innovative device because it allows you to play your console games and take them on the go in ways that you couldn't normally do it. So that is why the Switch I can excuse the Switch for not being powerful, because it does something different, does something unique. So Microsoft and Sony, if they really want to be, I guess you could say, if they want to endure, because I can predict, with the way things are going right now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I predict that within maybe two console gens, so like the PlayStation 6 or the Xbox 3 or whatever it's called, um around that time, that is when we'll really see more more games being spread out. So you will have games from one platform being on multiple platforms. Um, and originally, I was thinking to myself, why would Microsoft be buying out studios if they're not going to be doing anything with them? But here's the thing: if they are spreading their games out, if they are buying these companies, they are ensuring that there aren't actually any exclusives. They're going to be sharing these games throughout all of the other platforms, and that's a brilliant move, actually, because if you buy these studios with the intention of sharing them, you ensure that there's no monopoly that's going to happen. So I applaud Microsoft for that, if that's what they're doing. Um, where was I? Where was I going with this? Okay, so yeah, if my so by in 2 generations, if I predict maybe 80% of games, because again, some games might not be going over to other platforms just because they can't. Because I still don't think that Nintendo will have powerful hardware, because they might still be doing the hybrid thing. I hope they do, because hybrid, I think, is great. I think that's probably the best way to have that console. Like if you want power, just get a PC. But if you want to have that ability to take it anywhere, the Switch is actually a great device. So having having the hybrid is nature is going to keep games from coming to Switch because they won't be powerful enough to run on there. At the same time, however, because Nintendo will probably still do some sort of some sort of innovative thing that they do, for that reason only, certain games probably wouldn't go over to Microsoft, Sony, or maybe PC, because of the fact that they don't they don't natively run that sort of hardware. They don't have those innovations in them. So other than that, that's the only reason why. But other than that, though, 80% of games I predict will be on every platform: PC, Xbox, whatever it's called, PlayStation 6, and Nintendo, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. So that is the end of my rant. I'm sorry for going such a long tirade, hitting almost 15 minutes, but that is what I want to say. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment below. Do you agree or disagree with me? Until next time, everyone, I am Xeracon signing out. Have a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment below. Also, follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on news and details. I'll see you next time.